Hey everybody, it's Jessica here, and I am back to introduce my new 24 karat gold collection, which I'm just super excited about. Actually, I'm excited to use it myself. And as I explained before in my Photoshop video, I actually made this collection because I kept getting a lot of people who really liked my Instagram styles, but they really wanted something smoother and creamier and with less texture. So I did do my metallic shimmery swirls collection, but that was, really focused on the texture of the swirls. And this is like my most creamy, neutral, painted gold paint style I've made. And to me, it's the best one yet. I actually have been using it. I'm using it on some new illustrations, and I'm really excited about it. And it took a lot of work to get the color just right and make sure you have some kind of smooth paint kind of look, but it's nothing and it is too much. So I'll have some links to some other videos if you're not familiar with loading your palettes into your document. I just opened up one of the styles collections and they're already right there, but that is will be covered in another video if you're not familiar with that. But basically I've got my actions and I've got my swatches loaded, so I'm ready to go. So really this is just like all my other collections, nothing really a big surprise here. I can simply, select something like my text and go through and try out all these really amazing styles. And as I brought out before in my other video for Photoshop, a lot of these styles that they are have a nice texture if you want, but you can scale them down so they're super fine. And so each of these different texture patterns actually could be used three different ways. So you've actually getting, instead of getting 93 patterns, you're really getting 3 times that. But basically I have some of them and I labeled them gold 1A, B, C because a lot of them I took like a base texture, like a foil or a paint kind of texture, and I have the base one, and then the B version has a little like smears in it, and then the C version will have a little bit of shimmer but very subtle. So that's kind of the rationale behind my numbering. And I've got my gold 1A, but with the actions that I've made, this is actually something new, and I'll have to update my other collection so you have these actions. But if you want to, although some of them doesn't necessarily you want to scale the patterns too much, but this one is really good because scaling patterns is a real pain in the butt. You have to go up here to Object, Transform, Scale, uncheck everything else, do the patterns. But I realized it was really easy to make an action. So all you do is just scale pattern down, press play, and it scales it down really easy. And you can even click that again for a more smooth effect. So as you see, I had just one pattern, but I got 3 effects out of it. Same thing, I'll put gold 1B, and let's see here. There we go. Gold 1B, you've got it at full resolution. I can press play, scale it down. Oh my goodness, it's even smoother and more lovely. I like that a lot. Or I could scale it down again, and then it's just super smooth. And I'll show you gold 1C. Well, there we go. My little pen tablet, sometimes I have to click kind of hard. So I've got that one with a little bit of shimmer. I'm going to scale it down once, and that looks really nice. I really like a lot of these at 50%, but I didn't want to only have them at 50% in case you wanted a little bit of texture on there. And then I can press play once more again and scale it down, and you see how subtle and beautiful it is. So really cool things. One thing that you can also do, let's see here, I'm going to show you. I've got like a little object here, a brush stroke, and actually I'm going to think I will copy this and I'm going to show you a couple things. Let's make this, I want to kind of get like a Tiffany blue like I had on my displays. So I have something like this, a little object that's colored, and say I want to apply these gold styles and colors, although the big draw is the gold, obviously. But maybe you want to use it for a painterly effect on your color things. So I've pointed this out in my other videos, and your appearance panel in Illustrator is something maybe people don't really use that much, but it's something very important because basically you can layer your patterns or your colors on your items and change the opacities and have this kind of little mini layer group like you would in Photoshop. So it's super versatile. So if I want to add this gold paint style, but I want it in this color, all I have to do is look at my appearance panel. I'm going to, down here is add a new fill, this box right here. So I'm simply going to select my fill layer, add a new fill on top of it. I'm going to pick one of these gold paint patterns here, this gold 1B. Obviously it's going to look gold now because I've got this other layer on top of it and I've got the pattern on there. But all I have to do is change my opacity to luminosity like I do in Photoshop, and there you go. You've got this cool painted effect on the color. So you can absolutely apply all these in color. It's super easy. And another thing that I will show you is, let's say I'm going to put my gold on there. Cool. Well, what if I want this in silver? Well, just like the color, I've got this fill layer here. I've got my pattern on. Well, I'm just going to add another fill layer on top of it. Change that to black. Okay, it's black. Now you change your opacity of that black layer to color, and now I've got it in silver. Say you want it somewhere in between gold and silver. Well, all you do is you change that opacity of that, the color layer. You're using the black as the color to color it out. Well, you just change the opacity, move it down a little bit. Let's say we only want a little bit of that, black on there. Well, I just moved the opacity down and now I've got a really pretty desaturated gold. Sometimes you don't want a really gold. You want like a more of a shimmery light gold. So this allows you to do that. So that gives you all the different options. You can use them in gold, you can use them in silver, you can use them in neutral gold, you can use them in color, and they're absolutely beautiful. And another very important thing is, even if you have a very large document, you've got something that's really big, you've got an 8.5 by 11 paper, maybe you want a border or a background across the top of it. Well, you can apply these styles and they're perfect for big backgrounds. You're not going to see those pattern banding kind of things that you might see on other pattern styles that are meant for smaller areas. These are absolutely great for very large areas. And some other, gold patterns that I've seen is you might have big bands of white here, and it makes a cool effect on a small area. But when I was creating these, I made sure that if I add a little light area, which gives it the realism you want from that gold, I didn't do it in a very obvious way. So you can see some subtle areas of light and dark across here, but it's going to look good on small and large objects. So I was very careful when I was creating these that you don't see that big banding that you might see on some of these other layer styles. So it was a lot of work making these to make sure that they looked perfect on big and small things, but it was really rewarding because this is my new favorite collection. So hope you enjoy using them. And as I mentioned on my other video, I'm working on a lot of new things for my website, a lot of tutorials. I really want to share a lot of my tips and tricks with you, and just different things for helping you make better illustrations. So if you haven't already, you can sign up for my my email list, which I always, as you know, if somebody's on my list, I do not email that often at all. But when I have something important to share or some insider pricing, that way you can know when it comes out first. So hopefully you guys really enjoy using this collection, and I'll just see you guys next time.